Hare Krishna, good morning and welcome all of you all for a Sunday morning Bhagavad Gita class. Now, today we will be discussing on the fourth chapter, which is the fourth chapter. We have completed the, which verse? 22nd verse. But last time we discussed some verse which I think Jivan Prabhu also had some doubts regarding that. I said let me have a further discussion on that to give more clarity and of course showing the mirror to all of you all. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So am I audible, clear? Loud and clear? Louder than the other noise. Okay. So, coming to the topic of this Karma Yoga, this part of Karma Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, various yogas have been discussed, but right now we are in the midst of Karma Yoga. So, let's have a recap of what we did or what we discussed last session. Can anyone give me a little feedback?
You asked and explained about karmas, and then you explained very elaborately about akarma.
Elaborately about a karma. And what about burning in knowledge? One who is in knowledge, he burns the reactions or the fruits of the actions. How do you understand that? How do you understand that? उसके बारे में कुछ
both piety and the bad deeds are taken away by the Lord. That is what you said.
Yeah, that was the explanation for Sarvadharman Pradijjay Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Am tam sarva papebhyo. Sarva papebhyo means all that is which is binding you. जो भी चीज आपको बंधन कारक है इस धरती में आपको बांध के रख सकता है उन चीजों से आपको छुटकारा मिल जाएगा और हमको बोध पाप और पुण्य दोनों बंधक कार्य है पाप भी बंधक कार्य है और पुण्य भी पुण्य कैसा बंधक है पुण्य की वजह से आपको स्वर्ग लोकों में जाना पड़ेगा और स्वर्ग भी अलग अलग प्रकार के हैं जैसे आप पुण्य करोगे उस तरह का स्वर्ग मिलेगा ऐसा नहीं कि सबको एक ही फ्लैट प्राइस फर्स्ट प्राइस सेकंड प्राइस थर्ड प्राइस कंसोलेशन प्राइस सो अलग अलग कैटेगरीज फिर पार्टिसिपेशन प्राइस भी रहता है वैसा रहेगा ना सो एज पर द पुण्यस यू कैन एंजॉय योर स्वर्ग सो हाउ डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट yet why should in fact Jigar Prabhu asked a question to me Prabhu already in the third chapter Lord has already said when Arjuna asked Krishna why do we perform sinful actions and when what was the answer for that? So Krishna said, Kamesh Krodesh Rajgunas Samudbhaha. So he said that already Lord has said it has become of desire, unlimited desires, and that is lust. So that's why Prabhupada writes, lust alone, Arjuna. It is only lust which is in the mode of passion makes you do all the wrong activities. सब गलत कार्य करने के लिए आपको प्रेरित कराता है. तो यहाँ पे हम उस चीजों को कैसे समझ पाए तो हाउ डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट सच अ मैन आई एम रीडिंग द ट्रांसलेशन ऑफ वर्स नंबर 4.21 such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possession and acts only with bare necessities of life thus working he is not affected by sinful reactions and we have to read that is a thing now. I am searching for the other words which we were. Yeah, I am trying to understand. I am trying to explain to you the verse number 4.19, where he says, "One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire of sense gratification. This is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work has been burned by the fire of perfect knowledge. So this is where we were debating. What is this perfect knowledge? और परफेक्ट ज्ञान में जो व्यक्ति है वो क्या करता है, उसके सभी कर्मों के रिएक्शंस लॉर्ड जला देते हैं. मतलब इट इज ज्ञान की अग्नि में उसको जला देता है, सारी चीजों को जला देता है. तो मेरा एक सवाल है आपको, प्रीति माता जी, व्हाट इज योर आहार, जिससे आपको पौष्टिकता मिलती है? व्हाट इज योर आहार? नरिशमेंट, जिससे आपको नरिशमेंट मिलता है. हाँ, रॉकेट साइंस क्वेश्चन है, कुछ सिंपल हो जाए. आपका आहार क्या है? हाँ, फूड. कुछ में स्पेसिफिक कुछ? नो जंक फूड, वो तो अंडरस्टूड है. व्हाट फूड यू प्रेफर? होममेड फूड. ओके, यस. Damini Mataji, what would you like to add?
Specifics or like
Right. Okay. Yes, Rekha Mataji, what nourishes you? Prepared in the house. The meat is also prepared in the house. Offered to the Lord. Yes, one Rekha Mataji, what is nourishment? आपको तो ज़्यादा आइडिया, आप बताइए. What will nourish you? What is your food? What is your ahar? इतने सारे लिस्ट हैं, कहाँ से शुरू करूँ, कहाँ खत्म करूँ? And yes, what Nitish, what would you like to say?
Bodily any food which is homemade.
हाँ.
लेकिन उससे ऊपर भी एक ecstasy है these days.
When you come, that's all.
I mean, I'm talking about the interaction period.
Okay.
Now that could be at my home, at my store.
for the soul is for the body is
So when I asked you all, what is your nourishment? You know, in those days, I'm talking of 40-50 years before also, this system was there. If a new sadhu comes to a matha during food, during the time of lunch, because they used to have one food, one meal, that's it. रात को दूध पीते थे या कुरमुरा खाते थे. Night used to be like the main function of their life was to eat once nourishing food. उसमें and that too not tasty but nourishing. दाल चावल या खिचड़ी टिक्कर विक्कर खा लिया बस. So the first question asked to that sadhu is, आपका आहार क्या है? आपको पूछे. The minute he says, my आहार is दाल चावल रोटी सब्जी homemade food, हाँ, उनको बोलेंगे जाइए बाहर जाके खड़े रहिए, वहाँ पे खाना लगेगा 2 बजे, वहाँ जाके खड़े हो जाइए. क्योंकि इनका खाना रहता है 11 बजे, 11:30 को इनका खाना रहता है. वहाँ 2 बजे लंगर लगेगा, वहाँ जाके बैठिए. और वो साधु बोलता है, भगवान नाम ही मेरे लिए भोजन है, तो वो अंदर अलाउड. दिस इज व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट आइडेंटिफिकेशन टेस्ट. नाउ इफ यू आस्क आप क्या भोजन करते हो, तो अगर आप अपने आप को अभी भी बॉडी समझते हो, देन यस, पूरी हलवा मालपुआ, लिस्ट इज एंडलेस. But if you consider yourself, yes, I am a soul housed in this body, that's my bodily requirement. This AC is not for the soul, this AC is for the body which is sweating, it's not the soul which is sweating. The soul is not sweating at all, it is only the body which is sweating. So what do we understand from this? The first understanding is, one who is in knowledge. Who is the one who is in knowledge? One who is in knowledge means one who knows, I am the soul, I am not the body, I am not the enjoyer, I am not the doer. जो ये क्लियर हो जाता है, वो आदमी, वो व्यक्ति पहले he is in knowledge. Point number 2. Okay. How will, let's say, by the way, how many of you are going to dance the dandiya? Or you? Wait. Nitya Niyam. Once. But what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Yes, Mother, आप क्यों जाते?
हम तो देवी की मतलब मैं मन में से तो देवी की पूजा कर रही थी अपनी तरफ से उनको।
Yes. What about you, Prabhu? What is the significance of Navaratri then? To dance. Nice colorful dresses and dance. And then make that Navaratri into a Navaratri. What is significance? If an action is done with knowledge, then you should have the knowledge of it. If you are doing an action without knowledge, means you are driven by lust. That is chapter 3 and this is chapter 4. You are upgraded. There an action is done without any understanding. Whereas this doesn't apply only to those who are going to the dandiya. This applies to everyone who goes to do any type of sense gratification. That's why this verse clearly mentions one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. If it is devoid for desire of sense gratification, then he is in knowledge. Otherwise, he is not in knowledge. और वो व्यक्ति का ही कर्म का एक्शंस जल जाएगा जो व्यक्ति जानबूझ के अज्ञानता में रहते वक्त जो काम करता है या जो कार्य करता है उसका कर्म का रिएक्शंस कभी नहीं चलेगा. He should be full of knowledge. 99% of the people don't know why this Navaratri is being celebrated. What is the purpose behind it? One says today purple color, one says yellow color, one day blue color, white color, whatever it is. Significance? Nobody knows. Nobody is bothered to. All in a run. आज कौन सा color है? They will refer to the chart and wear that dress. Why? What is the significance? What is the purpose? Why should we do? One who gets this, he is in knowledge. Otherwise, one who wants to do the things at his own way, in his own pace, in his own sweet time, he is not in knowledge. Small understanding. It is said there was a Rakshas, two Rakshasas, Shumba and Nishumba. They were creating lot of havoc for the Devatas. So Devatas went to Shivji. Shivji बोले I cannot kill because उसको वर मिला है only a lady can kill. So I will not interact with them. You do one thing. You suggest for someone else. They said, why don't Parvati Mataji do it? Said Parvati Mataji has gone for taking a bath, and she has gone to the river or lake wherever she is, and of course we don't know Devi Devatas when they get moved they may sport for a long time in the जल विहार कर सकते हैं. So all the Devatas said, why not we wait? We will go to the place where she is taking bath, where she is sporting in the water. So when they were going on the way, the Devatas saw Parvati Mata come. They immediately praised her and revered her. Immediately Parvati Mata said, hey, you are revering me because you want to get rid of Shumba and Nishumba. They are the thorn in your eye. तो आप लोगों को वो निकालना है और राक्षसों को निकालना है, मारना है, इसके लिए मेरे पास आए. यस, हमको राक्षस से छुटकारा दिलाओ. तो जैसे उसने पैर पड़ा, उनके शरीर में से अंश निकला, and that was Kushmanda. That is one of the Devi form. We are only worried about the color. We are not worried about the avatar. Kushmanda came out of that Parvati. And she went to the mountains and she started doing tapasya. एंड नॉट ओनली शी, द माउंटेन वॉज ऑल्सो शाइनिंग, पर्वत भी चमक रहा था। तो शुंभ निशुंभ का एक उनका रावण द राक्षस टोली में से एक व्यक्ति घूमते घूमते देखा, कौन है ये शाइनिंग ग्लिटरस लेडी, हु इज शी, लेट मी गो एंड मीट हर, लेट मी गो एंड सी हर, glistering very nicely, she was glittering. So he went and saw, and he went and asked this lady, oh lady, why are you rotting here? You should marry our king शुंभ, शुंभ से शादी करना चाहिए। एल्डर वन इज शुंभ, सेकंड वन इज निशुंभ, तो शुंभ से शादी करना चाहिए। बोला अच्छा, उसने बोला द प्रॉब्लम इज मैं शादी करने को तैयार, बट मैंने एक शपथ ली है कि जो मुझे युद्ध में हराएगा, अपना मेरे बल से अपने आप का बल जो दो ज्यादा दिखाएगा, मैं उस व्यक्ति से शादी करूंगा। तो ये सुर्पणखा वेंट एंड टोल्ड रावण विथ मिर्ची मसाला, she also went over there, this Rakshas also went and told शुंभ निशुंभ भाई, सॉरी शुंभ को क्या बोला, ऐसे ऐसा बोल रहा है, वो बोल रही है that she will not marry। अच्छा, इतना घमंड है वो लड़की को, मुझसे शादी करने को इतना राजी नहीं हो रही है। Immediately send the entire army and drag her over here, बालों से पकड़ के खींच के लेके आओ। पूरा सेना गया वहां पे। The lady just made a हुंकार sound, just करके साउंड निकाला, and whole सेना was finished, खत्म हो गई। जैसे सेना खत्म हो गई, this Rakshas came and reported the entire army is gone. Immediately Shumb and Nishumb both came, and there she manifested into the various forms. And you also think your manifestations, no? That's why you wear colors. No? She manifested, and there was a big war which went for a long time, say 9 days, and that during that time those various forms, that is where you call various forms, you know, Saptashungi, ye wo ye दुर्गा, काला, काली, सब बेसिकली इट वाज दुर्गा, उसमें से निकला हुआ सब शक्तियां एक एक दिन एक एक असुर के साथ नाच रही। बट एक्चुअली उसके पहले एक छोटा सा लीला हुआ। ये जब पहला उसने हुंकार मार के सबको जला दिया ना, तब शी वॉज इन सो मच एंगर दैट उसके मुख में से उसने नेत्र जो है वो नो लाइक ए कॉकआइड पर्सन कैसा अपने नोज के टिप के ऊपर देख रही थी, एंड शी मेड अ लाउड साउंड, and from the sound came out Kali. That Kali called Shivji, oh Shivji, go and send message. तो शुंभ को जाके नो क्या बोलते हैं, मैसेज दो कि उनको लड़ना है, आ जाओ, मैं इधर खड़ी हूँ, आ जाओ। तो शिवजी लाइक ए नॉर्मल मैसेंजर वेंट एंड gave this message to those two Rakshasas. That's why he gets a specific name, that you are Shumbadut, Shumbadut, उसको एक नाम दिया। So he goes and calls those two Rakshasas, and while coming, so he also gets two Rakshasas head. That's why you will see many times two Rakshasas head being held. And उसमें the story also has many variations, that it was Mahishasur. महिषासुर का मतलब क्या है? What is the meaning of महिषासुर? महिषा means buffalo, and महिषा का मतलब और एक मतलब है वो buffalo जैसा, मतलब buffalo is a very जड़ animal, you know. इसके लिए कभी भैंसे का दूध कभी पीना नहीं चाहिए। कहते हैं भैंसे का दूध पीने से आदमी भी भैंसा जैसा हो जाता है, जड़ हो जाता है। So he was so dumb, भैंसे की तरह वो लड़ रहा था। तो हाँ, ऐसे ऐसे महिषासुर को मारा। दैट इज व्हाई once it is called as, she is called as also महिषासुर मर्दिनी। तो ये सब नाम तब, एंड फाइनली शुंभ और निशुंभ के साथ झगड़ा करते ये सभी फॉर्म्स निशुंभ को मार दिया उसको। तब शुंभ बोलता है कि डोंट थिंक तू बड़ी पराक्रमी है, ये तेरा सेना की वजह से तू जीत गई है, because of your army. Come one to one. They are not Sena, they are me only. And everything entered into her and she became one form. And finally she fought with Shumbha and killed him. When she killed, that is the time when that divine Swarupa was exhibited by. That's why हम लोग पार्वती पार्वती बोलते हैं, but it's not actual पार्वती. पार्वती के शरीर से निकला वो अंश जो है उससे ये पूरा काली. एंड काली का तो आपको स्टोरी पता ही है. आफ्टर शी वाज सो मच ऑफ एंगर, जैसे नरसिंहदेव आफ्टर इन एंगर, आफ्टर किलिंग हिरण्यकशिपु, he was in so much of anger, he was not ready to cool down. Everyone was, nobody including Lakshmi Devi said, अरे बाबा मैंने इतना खतरनाक रूप अपने पति का नहीं देखा, मैं भी नहीं जाऊं. तो एंड में कौन गया? प्रहलाद himself goes and he says, please forgive me. And then नरसिंहदेव cools down. उसी तरह शिव जी को जाके उनको कूल करना पड़ा, because she was dancing, she was in a विनाशक रूप, इतना गुस्सा क्रोध में थी. तो वहां जाके शिव जी उनके नीचे लेट गए. और तो we have to understand that importance and relevance. But today what has happened? That essence is totally gone. It is only how I can impress the opposite sex is the sole motto of these type of gatherings, and then it becomes only sense gratification. May it be gross, may be subtle, but it is sense gratification. I should be recognized as the best dancer, my dress should be the best, my costumes has to be the best, my makeup has to be good, this, that, ये ही फोकस रह जाता है. भगवान कहीं कोने में पड़े रह जाते. हाँ, 10th डे याद करके फेंक दे, जल में डाल के समाधि दे देते उनका, वो बात अलग है. बट इट बी गणपति, बी इट बी दुर्गा, एनी फेस्टिवल, दिस इज द पैथेटिक सिचुएशन. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दैट if you are in knowledge, then only this will be burnt. If you are not in knowledge, and if you don't, what is knowledge? What is the difference between knowledge and information? If one can define this difference, what is the difference between knowledge and
no transformation is information.
Information should lead to transformation. If there is no transformation with the information, you are leading a wasteful life. आपका जो जीवन है वो काफी wasteful है. Wasteful in the sense, I'll tell you a small story that you should understand. ये वृंदावन कहानी है. This is a story of Vrindavan. Once there was a rich lady from the north who lost her husband. And she said, now what's there in my life? I'll go and spend my life in वृंदावन. अभी जीवन में मेरा पति तो रहा नहीं, मैं जाके अपना जीवन का निर्वाह वृंदावन में करती हूँ. एंड दिस इज द स्टोरी ऑफ द वल्लभ संप्रदाय, जो आपके श्रीनाथ जी के संप्रदाय के हैं, उन संप्रदाय की कहानी. तो विठल दास जी के वहाँ से उन्होंने दीक्षा लिया और वहाँ गोसाई जी की सेवा में वहाँ उनको एक कृष्ण का डीटीज दिया था. कृष्ण का डीटी का सेवा कर रहे थे. एक दिन ऐसा हुआ कि लेडी वॉज लोन, काम सेवा करते करते बूढ़ी होने लगी. इतनी बूढ़ी हो गई, इतनी बूढ़ी हो गई कि उसको अभी ठीक से दिखता नहीं था. तो लॉर्ड हिमसेल्फ स्टार्टेड कमिंग एंड हेल्पिंग. लॉर्ड यूज्ड टू कम. ये बोलती थी, हे लाला जरा चावल साफ कर, दाल साफ कर, फिर तुझे मैं खिचड़ी बना के देती हूँ. तो she could never, no, those days, I mean, nowadays it's different. It's all ready to cook. Get the grain and put it on the gas. But in a few years, I mean, when I was child also, I used to also sit and clean the rice and wheat. उसमें से निकालना पड़ता था, कंकड़ पत्थर निकालना पड़ता था. तो सब साफ करके कृष्णा यूज्ड टू, कृष्णा जाके यमुना में जल भर के लेके आता था. इट वॉज लाइक इसको छोड़ेगा, बेचारी को मुझे छोड़ेगा तो और कोई है ही नहीं. कृष्णा इस भाव से सेवा कर रहे हैं. बेचारी को और कोई है ही नहीं, मैं ही हूं. टोटली शी इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन मी. आई विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प दिस लेडी, एवरीथिंग. अभी बर्तन चूल्हा जला के देता था, तो कभी पानी यमुना में जाके जल भर के लेके आता था, खाना बनाने के लिए जल चाहिए तो जल भरा के लेके आता था. She was quite old, but he used to do all the work for her. Finally, one day, one of her distant relative, मतलब long time relative, मामा चाचा काका जो भी था, relative आए and they came and searching for her, just casually to meet, हाल चाल पूछने के लिए. सोचो, हाल चाल पूछने के लिए आ गए और कैसी हो, बहुत दिन से मिले नहीं, क्या है. तो बुढ़िया भी बोली, क्या तुम लोग के भरोसे पे मैं थी, तुम लोग ने तो मुझे धोखा दे दिया और मैं यहाँ आ गई और यहाँ पे तुम लोग ने मुझे आके देखा तक नहीं, पूछा तक नहीं, मैं भी बूढ़ी भी हो गई हूँ, तुम लोग मुझे कुछ देखभाल नहीं किया तुम लोगों ने. तो उन्होंने बोला देखो भाई हमसे तो होगा नहीं देखभाल देखना सब, हाँ पैसा वैसा चाहिए तो बोलो हम कुछ पैसा दे देंगे. नहीं वो तो 2-4 दिन रुके और फिर वो जो गेस्ट आए थे वो चले गए. The guest went away. This lady went and called, कृष्णा जा, लाला जाके पानी भर के लेके आ. अब भगवान हिले नहीं, पत्थर बन के बैठे, हिलेंगे नहीं को तैयारी नहीं है. अरे लाला जा पानी भर के लेके आ, क्या हो गया, जल्दी से लाएगा तो मैं खाना बनाऊंगी ना. He was just a stool or a statue, whatever you call it. The same person who was cleaning the rice for her, lifting the things for her, filling the water from the Yamuna for her, कोई व्यक्ति ने आज कुछ हिल नहीं रहे, पत्थर बन के खड़े. Fed up. Immediately she went and told the Gosai, हमारे कृष्ण को लाला को क्या हुआ, कल तक तो मेरा साथ बात करता था, खेलता था, काम करता था, आज पत्थर बन के बैठा है, हिलता नहीं है. तो जो गोसाई जी थे, जो मेन पर्सन जिन्होंने दिया था, गुरु जी जिन्होंने दिया था, उन्होंने लाला को अपने गोद में रखा, बोला क्या हुआ भाई, बताओ तो सही, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम. उसने बोला फिर भी पत्थर बन के बैठे, कुछ जवाब ही नहीं दे रहे. वो समझ के बहुत नाराज है. तो उन्होंने क्या किया, अच्छा खाना बनवाया, रसगुल्ला, मीठा. जैसे बच्चे रूठ जाते हैं तो क्या करते हैं, मम्मी डैडी को कुछ चॉकलेट वॉकलेट देना पड़ता है ना, चॉकलेट, पेस्ट्रीज, केक कुछ भी देना पड़ता है. तो ऐसा कुछ बना के, अच्छा अभी बोलेगा नहीं तो हमको पता कैसे चलेगा, बोल तो सही क्या प्रॉब्लम है, इतना नाराज क्यों है. तब कृष्ण ने बोला मैंने सोचा इसके लिए मैं ही सब कुछ हूँ, मेरे सिवा इसका कोई नहीं, और मेरे लिए भी इसके सिवा कोई नहीं. मैं ये सोच के मैं उसका सब काम करता था, बर्तन साफ करना, चावल साफ करके देना, पानी भर के लाना, सब काम जैसे एक छोटा बालक करे वैसा मैं सब काम करता था. पर आज मुझे पता चला आज भी उसकी आसक्ति उसके परिवारजनों के साथ है, उसकी आसक्ति भौतिक दुनिया के साथ है, भौतिक आनंद के साथ है. फिर मैं क्यों करूं, why should I do serve to such a for such a person. So what does this story actually imply to us? A true incident, it's not a story, it's a true incident. So what does it imply for us? It only implies faith and surrender has to be not partial, it should be 100%, it should be fully. But the problem is we all surrender partially, thinking Lord is sitting somewhere in Juhu only. Lord is sitting only in Juhu, Radha Ras Bihari. He is not everywhere. A person in knowledge carries Lord with him all the time, and that Lord is none other than your consciousness. You are consciously aware, knowingly, unknowingly, what you are doing. Is it right or wrong? One may say, sir, I am doing for my family, for the sake of my children, for the sake of my friends, when I sing. If Lord says, if you are worried about them only, when it comes to me, all the rules apply. But it when it comes to Lord, to your friends, to your relative, to your wife, to your children, your father, your mother, whatever it is, that time policy अलग, मेरे लिए policy अलग. Then I will be lifelong a statue. मैं एक मूर्ति बन के रहूंगा. I will never come into reality. But the minute one surrenders fully, then he becomes a reality. That is the difference between a stone. One may say, people come and say, oh, क्या है मूर्ति पूजा क्या है? The best joke of मूर्ति पूजा. जितने पंथ मूर्ति पूजा के खिलाफ है, उन्होंने किसी न किसी का मूर्ति बना के उसका पूजा कर. जितने भी पंथ हैं जो मूर्ति पूजा के खिलाफ है, उन्होंने किसी न किसी का मूर्ति बना के उसका ही. इट्स अ कोर फैक्ट. सो इज इट नॉट रिडिकुलस? जो लोग बोलते हैं मूर्ति पूजन का खंडन करते हैं, वो लोग ने किसी न किसी का मूर्ति बना के उसी का पूजन कर. सब so many hundreds and thousands. So that means what? You need someone to cry on. You need a shoulder to lean on when you are in a bad times. But the only difference is that is what you call as a friend. But what you call as God? A shoulder which you lean on in your good times and your bad times. We only need a shoulder when it is bad time. When it is good time, do we ask for a shoulder? We don't even give our shoulder. Forget about taking someone's shoulder. We don't even give our shoulder. But when it comes to God, God means what? He is none other than your part and parcel. अब उसके साथ जुड़े हुए नहीं तो क्या फायदा? That is why this verse 19 was very important. One who understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor, उसका कार्य करने का हेतु, उसका कार्य करने का पीछे का मकसद ही, अगर सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन है तो वो ज्ञान में नहीं है, और जो ज्ञान में है वो सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन वाला काम में कभी जाएगा ही नहीं, आगे नहीं जाएगा. एंड दिस इज अ फ्लैट रूल. चाहे वो कर्म योग करो, ध्यान योग करो, भक्ति योग करो, कोई भी योग करो, योगा करो तो बात चले. योग सीधे योगा कर दिया ना नाम लोगों ने. सो abandoning all attachments to the result of activities this is 4.20. okay, abandon all attachments to the result of his activities, ever satisfied, independent, he performs no fruitive action although engaged in all kinds of Tyaktva karma phala sangam. That's what Tyaktva, give up, phala sangam, nitya tripto, nirashraya. ये निराश्रय का मतलब क्या है? बिना किसी का आश्रय. बराबर? निराश्रय. ऐसा कैसे करेंगे? Without any shelter लिखा है. What do I mean? So how do you understand that? Any material shelter. लोग भौतिक दुनिया में अनाथ किसे बोलते हैं? बट एक्चुअल अनाथ कौन है?
Who doesn't believe in God?
Yes, God is अनाथ. उसको कोई माँ बाप नहीं है. Can anyone in this world come to this world? Anyone in this world, can he enter without having a mother and father? In any form. You are a mosquito, you have to go through your reproductive system. So if there is someone who is really अनाथ, जिसका कोई माँ बाप नहीं है, वो है भगवान. बाकी सब नाथ ही हैं. जो भगवान के शरणागत नहीं है ना, वो अनाथ हैं. जो भगवान के शरणागत हैं, जो भगवान की भक्ति करते हैं, वो नाथ हैं. वो अनाथ नहीं है. उनका नाथ है. नाथ मतलब उनका पालनहार है. He is having a person who is being taken care of. Whereas, अनाथ मतलब जिसको कोई पूछने वाला नहीं. 'So, abandon all attachments to the result of activities, ever satisfied, independent, he performs no fruitive action although engaged in all kinds of activities. Tyaktva karma phala sangam, nitya tripto, nirashrayah. ये निर्आश्रय का मतलब क्या है? अनाथ का और एक डेफिनेशन क्या है? I mean, crude understanding. What is अनाथ? हाँ?
मतलब
नहीं, crude understanding of it. I'm asking.
मतलब जिसका कोई क्वेश्चन करने वाला नहीं है।
हाँ, that's the perfect answer. जिसको कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है। और हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं यहाँ पे? We all want to be independent. We all want to be independent. स्पेशल आजकल तो आंदोलन होते हैं। Independent. What does that word independent mean? नाथ मतलब जिसको पूछने वाला है। माँ पूछिए, बेटा खाना खाया? Mom, why are you disturbing me? I'm independent. बाद में थोड़ा देर बाद भूख लग गया तब किधर जाएगा? हाँ, स्विगी जोमेटो के लिए पैसा लगता है। हाँ, कुछ ना कुछ तो you are dependent. We are dependent on every moment. If this air is not there, we can't breathe. We are dependent on air. Every second we are dependent on something or the other. And the most thing is we are dependent on God. It is a God who has given us parents. They only feed us. They take care of us. So anath means one who is not questioned. And we want to be living a life without being questioned. But actually, many people say parents, they never allow us to go ahead in life. जब भी मैं आगे कुछ बढ़ता हूँ तो मेरे बाप बाप रोकते हैं, तो ये मत कर, वो मत कर. Please understand. Will you drive a vehicle, nice posh vehicle, without brakes? Can you drive a vehicle without brakes? Parents, your loved people, they are all like brakes in your life. You want to go full speed, but they are the people. Majja. Remove the brake and throw it off. Then the vehicle will go full speed. You don't have to put any brake ही नहीं है, system ही नहीं है. आप अनाथ हो गए ना. ब्रेक ही नहीं है और वो गाड़ी कितना देर चलेगी? गाड़ी चल सकती है? उसी तरह है, अगर जीवन में भगवान है, भगवान की शरणागति लेते हो तो उनका रूल्स भी लेना पड़ेगा. यू कांट जस्ट टेक द पेरेंट्स विदाउट देयर कंट्रोल्स. इफ यू टेक गॉड, यू हैव टू टेक दिस ऑल्सो. दिस कम्स हैंड इन हैंड. इट्स अ पैकेज. यू कांट से आई विल टेक पार्ट, आई विल नॉट टेक द अदर हाफ. You have to take both. So when you accept your parents, you have to accept them with their goods and bads. When you accept a husband or a wife, you have to accept with goods and bads. Everything is having a fault. This is an imperfect world where you yourself are imperfect. How can you expect perfection? This world is imperfect. You are imperfect. Creation is not imperfect. Creation is perfect. नारियल बराबर झाड़ पे ऊपर उगेगा और कलिंगन नीचे उगेगा. यू कांट से कलिंगन ऊपर चला जाओ और नारियल नीचे नहीं, कलिंगन नीचे उगेगा. इट्स अ क्रीपर. नारियल पेड़ पे आपको आम मिलेगा. एवरीथिंग क्रिएशन इज परफेक्ट. द वर्ल्ड क्रिएटेड बाय द गॉड इज परफेक्ट, बट वी बीइंग्स आर imperfect. Because we are busy removing the brakes of our life. And we are expecting that the life will go smooth. Parents, children, for some parents, children are brakes. So for others, some good well-wishers who are advising them, they are brakes. For some ladies, the husbands are brakes. For some husbands, the wives are a brake. Yes, brake. If it is a spiritual brake, yes, please remove it and throw it. But if it is a justified break, it is to control you for your well-being, then it is justified. That is why one should always understand, if you are accepting God, please accept the rules laid by God. मैं भगवान को बहुत प्यार करता हूँ, इसके लिए when people come and comes and tells me, sir, मैं बहुत spiritual हूँ, मंडे को तो मैं बिल्कुल दारू नहीं पीता हूँ. एंड ट्यूसडे को मैं पीता हूं, मीन्स व्हाट? You are only respecting him on that one day, and for you his existence ceases the very next day. And what is the use of such a God whose very existence ceases the next day? अगला दिन भगवान ही आपका अगर मर जाता है या है नहीं, तो फिर वो भी क्या भगवान है? You are accepting God. If you are accepting any demigod also, for that instance, you have to accept the rules. But हम ना rules को follow करना चाहते हैं. In fact, and why we want to break the rules? Why? What is the purpose of breaking the rules? और only sense gratification को अंदर घुसाने. The only purpose of breaking the rules is अपना sense gratification कैसे मैं अंदर? How can I fulfill my sense gratification? For that, I don't mind butchering any damn thing in this world. I don't mind butchering any damn thing in this world. I don't mind. People tell lies, which doesn't happen, which are not there. We tell lies, we tell, exaggerate stories and all. What is the purpose? The purpose is nothing but it is sense gratification. And a person who is driven by mind is nothing other than a monkey. Is nothing else other than a monkey. Because the mind only tells, ना एक पेड़ से दूसरे पेड़ में कूदते रहे, कुछ जरूरत है, कुछ काम ही नहीं. Jump one branch to another branch. Monkey. So please, this is very important. If you are accepting God, please accept the rules. The rules have to be accepted. You can't accept. You will say, no, I love God. I don't fear God. Who asked you to fear God? If you fear, that's your sins you are committing. That's why you are afraid of. Now, suppose two people are walking on the road and the police is coming in front. वो पुलिस से कौन डरेगा? कौन? जिसने कुछ गलती किया हो उसको डर लगना पड़ेगा. जिसने कुछ गलती किया नहीं है वो नहीं डरेगा. तो I don't fear God means what? You don't have to fear God. Where does God say, hey, I am a big boss, I am the big boss? ये बिग बॉस सीरियल जैसा हो गया आजकल, वो भी आईफोन की तरह. And dumps are waiting to watch that. And then they come and tell me, sir, you have to be positive. Think positive. Fully negative. The full program is negative and you are talking about positive. And some dubs are there who watch that. They enjoy two donkeys fighting. And then they know also it is scripted. They know very well it is scripted. But still they want to see the fight. What is the use? And then they say, I'm very sattvic, I'm very I'm vegan, I'm this, I'm that. बस यही चलता है. So finally, such people land up, or they will not end up in any proper destination. Their life will be in vague. It's like चलता type life. And it's not that one cannot lead a spiritual life. It's very easy to lead a spiritual life. But the problem is, our desire for sense gratification is so strong. Chhodne. Let me enjoy that first. Let me not follow the rules. The rules can be followed later also. The rules can be followed later also. What's the big deal in following the rules right now? It can be done at some other later stage. But that later stage will be too late. It will be so late that you yourself will be called as late so and so. It will be so late that one day you will be called as Mr. Late. कभी थे अच्छे एंड बेटा जब लिखते ना पिताजी के बोले स्वर्गवासी हो गए, मन ही मन क्या बोलता रहेगा भगवान चाहे स्वर्गवासी हो गए. So ठीक है. So coming back to our verse. So independent. So please don't think yourselves as independent. We are all dependent in some way or the other on Lord. For every split second. अगर कोई बोल दे ना भगवान, I am independent, you go. What will happen? On the spot, khalas. मैं जाता हूँ, भगवान बोल रहे मैं जाता हूँ, तब डुब, you fall down. You can't push God out of your heart. Even if you want, you can't. आप कुछ भी कर लो, the Lord is there in the heart, as in the form of Chaitya Guru. He is always there. You can't. आप एक बार प्रभु जी को झूठ बोल सकते हो, but you can't tell lies to your own consciousness. Consciousness को आप कुछ भी बोल लो, and उसको आप दबा सकते हो, मगर मना नहीं सकते. It's another factor in our consciousness. You can suppress your consciousness, but you can't convince your consciousness. Okay, now we go to verse number 21. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Very, very important. Please understand. Such a man of understanding acts. So the problem is, why people find this section of Bhagavad Gita to be very boring, very difficult, very confusing. The reason is faith is missing. Implementation of devotion in life is missing. But this is Arjuna, na? This was spoken for Arjuna. हम लोग इसके आराम से लेते हैं. No hurry. No hurry. By that time, Arjuna, in 45 minutes, Arjuna got the whole Bhagavad Gita. उसमें से in 4th chapter मतलब hardly it must have been 20 minutes. Hardly, not even 20, 15 minutes. उसमें ये ज्ञान तक पहुंच गया. अर्जुन इतना फास्ट पहुंच गया. और हम लोग why? We have understood, but we are not ready to accept it and apply it in life. We are still ready to, we are accepted also. Yes, मानते हैं प्रभु जी. I agree with this fully, but how to implement it? Implement problem है कि है कोई क्या? When will I enjoy life then? It is live life king size. ऐसा सब आपको नॉलेज दिया जाता है that you cannot accept and live. So such a man of understanding acts with his mind and intelligence perfectly controlled. So mind and intelligence have to be perfectly controlled. Controlled with what? Controlled with what? Mind has to be controlled by mind.
Perfect knowledge.
Mind and intelligence perfectly controlled लिखा है. तो how can you control both?
Knowledge.
With knowledge. First and foremost, not just listening to it. Only by implementing it can you control it. Without implementing it, you cannot control it. Give up all sense of proprietorship. कितने जन को ये समझ में आया? सबको आया? All hand over your iPhones to me. Sense of proprietorship is gone. So, all sense of proprietorship is over his possessions and acts only with bare necessities of life. प्रभु 3 बाल्टी लेके चला जाना, 4 बाल्टी चावल रखना, bare necessities. Only come to bare necessities of life. So, thus working, he is not affected by. So if someone here tells me, प्रभु जी ये सब जीवन में लाए कैसे? भगवान का नाम लेना पड़ेगा. This shows that your taste, your sincerity towards chanting the holy name is as good as zero. As good as zero. When a person is interested in more of unwanted things and he is finding still pleasure in those things, still finding pleasure in those things, that means, or he's subduing himself. I can't eat non-veg. I can't drink alcohol. अपने छाती पीट के जब बैठ जाता है ना व्यक्ति, तो समझ जाना है he is only controlling by force. Not, he is still not yet started relishing the devotional path. Devotion, once you relish, then you will leave this. Unless until you don't, when a boy or a girl, when they get married or they're in love, they start relishing that. Till that time, the mother and father are all in all. But once that relishment starts, then detachment with the parents starts. When the mother or the father starts relishing with the child who is born, and relishment starts, then slowly the detachment to the spouse also comes. So that unless until you don't get that relishment, that enjoyment of devotion, you will not be able to enjoy the devotion. Forget about that. You will still be finding that gross enjoyment as the supreme. Like any hogs and dogs, you will also relish that worldly materialistic enjoyment, because who is giving you this parameter? Who gives you this parameter of enjoyment? Who gives you?
Nine.
Huh?
The other person.
People.
Worldly people, the other person. Yes, they set up your standards. When you do some nice, hair color or hair or anything, whatever it is. So many things are there. So you do something or you buy some nice dress and come. Certification deta kaun?
Others. Friends and relatives.
As long as you are dependent on them, have faith. Dress up. No problem. Come and show it to God. Why don't you take a certification from God? Andal. Staying in South. I don't know how many people have gone to the South temples where you see a lady with this bent hair. Which, that she is called as Andal. She is like Mirabai of the South. She was a nice devotee, Alward's daughter. And daily she used to wear the जो भगवान garland पहनते थे पहले उसका नाप लेती थी. She used to put it around her neck. Mind you, before the Lord has put the garland, she will put the garland and check the distance. बराबर है? हाँ बराबर है. Then it used to go to the altar. Once a father, one of the Alvards, very famous Alvards, he saw this. Periyar. So he saw this and he was very much upset. My daughter is saying, he said, stop this, from tomorrow you are not doing the seva, you are not doing the service. Remove it. Next day morning, when they made another nice garland for the Lord, the garland was not standing on the Lord's neck, it was falling down again and again. Again and again it was falling down. Finally, went and asked Lord, what mistake I have done? The Lord said, I want her garland. I want her garland. This is how one gets certification for one's service. Please don't wait for any recognition, even from yours. You don't have to get a recognition from your spiritual master also. But the minute you do your sincere service, Lord gives the recognition to you. He gives the approval. Yes, you have done a perfect job. So that's what is more important. Doing any activity, you are not bound unless until that activity is for the Supreme Lord. When that activity becomes a matter of certification from your friends, your circle, your relatives, your acquaintances, whatever it is. Right from your slipper to your nail, to your eyelashes, to your hairband, to your this, that, whatever it is, you name it, including, I've seen in devotees, even tilak, dhoti style, even for that people are looking out for certification from others. You don't have to be. Mind you, walking on a spiritual path is like walking on a razor, on the edge of a razor. It is a challenging job. It's not difficult. We have made it difficult because we are not ready to leave our attachment to sense gratification. Okay, with this I would like to close today's session. Anybody has got any doubts, questions, can ask. Fast.